Well, hello, ladies. Angela here. Um, Coach Angela here to coach you on a little bit about decision making. So, I don't know about you, but have you ever had to make a decision, right? I mean, I know I have. I've made plenty of decisions, and some decisions were really good, and some not so good. And some decisions I might wish that I would forget completely, right? So we've all had a variety of decisions I'm sure we've made. And so I wanted to share some things that might be useful for you, for some insights of way to look at decision making. One of the things when we are going to decide, um, which really kind of helps to put more of that oomph, behind the deciding, is creating or deciding, like I said, decide. So you are making a commitment. I'm going to put it up here. Commit. I think it's two M's. So when you decide to make a decision, you want to commit to that decision. And I want to tell you why you would like to commit to the decision. It is because that our lovely limbic system that I know I've talked about before loves safety and security. And so anytime we are offered different things to choose from in making a decision, we want whatever is safe, whatever feels comfortable. And sometimes we choose not to decide because we think that's more safe and more comfortable. So when we choose to commit to that decision, we are letting our brain know that this is a commitment I'm making and I'm going to decide to it, instead of floating around and like oscillating between each decision. And so when we start to do that, we can create energy within us that now we're committed to this decision and we're going to follow through with this decision. So not only when you come from a place of commitment on a decision that you actually decide and do it, but your follow through becomes even more relevant of happening. Like it's more likely to happen because now you've decided and you've committed and now you're going to follow through. And so a lot of that stuff can stem from the way that we're speaking to ourselves. I know last week I had talked about the way that we talk to ourselves and where that's coming from and how we make sure that we use the right language so that we can show up in the world the way we want to. So when it comes to decide and committing and to make a commit to, try or do are things that might come up in our brain when we're making a decision. And if you are at all a fan of Star Wars, if you've heard a quote from Yoda, he says, "Do or do not, there is no try." And so I want to explore that a little bit about the energy behind whether you choose to do or whether you choose to try, and what's going to kind of come forward for you when you're doing that. So try. So sometimes you'll think, I'll try it. So I will try it. So that's just kind of like, I'll try it, as opposed to just do it, right? Just do it. So we think of Nike, again, another kind of slogan type thing, just do it. So maybe kind of try kind of actually has that little bit of a maybe flair to it. So that can be another thing that comes up is maybe. And then when it comes to do, instead of maybe, what if it's done? Right? You do it. It's done. Try it. Maybe. So understanding where the energy is coming from, because the energy that you are creating from the thoughts that's coming up for you is going to create that action for you to actually make that decision. And when it's coming from a place where you've like it's going to get done, you're going to do it, or if it's coming from a place of I'll try it, maybe I'll try, that type of thing. When it comes from that, again, that's oscillating as opposed to committing to it and following through with it. So I want to tell you that when we start to make decisions, the one thing that is what I have found to be the most powerful behind making decisions is that the more that we make them, the more we show up in our life in the way that we see ourselves showing up in our life. Which I mean by when you start making decisions and you follow through and you make commitments to yourself in that decision-making process, you start to see yourself in a way that is someone who commits and follows through with making choices. And then when choices come up for you and you've got to make a decision, you are more likely to make a decision instead of based on an emotion at that moment, right? Because sometimes we'll make a decision and it's like it comes at us. And instead of actually stopping and pausing to really ponder and think about it, we make the decision based on the emotion we're feeling right now instead of the emotion we want to feel in the present, right? So when we start to make decisions based on emotions we are working towards and not the emotion we're having right now, we start to make and decide and commit in a whole different level than where we are at right now. And again, understanding that when it comes to decision making, when it comes to commitment, when it comes to follow through, that those things are on us as individuals. And we can make the choices that we want to make of how we want to show up in this world and what it is we want to gain from this world and how we want to learn as we go through this world. Those are all choices that are up to us. And I want to offer to you that you can make choices that you are going to be proud of, that you're going to feel accomplished, and you're going to feel like you're going towards somewhere where you want to be going and not feel like you're stuck in a rut. Because being stuck in a rut, I've been there before. That does not feel good at all. And it is hard to get out of that rut sometimes, not always. There are ways that we can think and become so that we can start living in the presence of what it is we are creating and how it is we want to be feeling in the future. Not right now, the decision being based on future tense. All right, ladies, I hope this was helpful to you. I want to thank you again for listening in. And when it comes to making a decision, when you make a commitment to yourself and you follow through, when you have the thoughts that are coming from energy that makes you want to do something, that actually like pulls you towards the future, that's a great place to be, because that means you're coming at it with looking at all angles instead of just right there at that current moment. You're looking at what you are actually creating in the future, not just what's happening right then. Take care of yourself. Make it a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.